A topic that we can all get a little bit better at is to understand, would we like ourselves if we met us? So the topic of self-awareness, it is a continuous journey. It is one of the most important aspects of personal and professional development. And it's important for leadership. It's important in our personal lives. And again, it is just something that we can all do better at. And at each level of our careers and lives, it's going to require us to dig a little bit deeper and become a little bit more self-aware. But do we actually do it well? Yvonne, tell us more about it.
Elena, the thing is that about self-awareness is really a very rare quality. So we don't do it that good. There is an estimation that only 10 to 15% of the people fill up the criteria of being self-aware. So most of us believe that we know each other correctly, but what we have to be mindful is that there is two types of self-awareness. The first one is more about the internal self-awareness, how much we know each other, how much introspective we are. The second type of self-awareness is the one that is more about how others perceive us, being mindful of how others are looking at us, and we understand better what type of image we are projecting. In fact, the people that are the type of introspective people are the ones usually that succeed quite good, to be happy, to be satisfied on the work that they do, while the people who are more into the external self-awareness, they are more empathic, they are better, in fact, at connecting with other people, and that's something that is quite related to my personal struggle. I'm more of the introspective person, but the thing is that it's not always super good to be introspective, because we have a tendency to look at ourselves and ask the big question, why is this happening to me? So it's almost like we enter into the flow of judging ourselves, to complain about the past. And in fact, it's not always good, because we dwell in this environment of emotions, of feeling bad about the past, instead of looking on the way forward.
Hi guys, Elena here from Western. If you're enjoying this episode, please make sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on weekly new videos that we have coming out on personal and professional development topics. Also, feel free to send your questions and engage with us, and comment in the YouTube videos in the comment section below. Now back to the episode.
So the main idea here will be to replace the why question with the what question. A little bit of an example would be not about why did I get, did my boss was angry with me the last time that I spoke to him, and then we are continuously judging and generating emotions about ourselves, but it's more about saying, what are the situations where this type of anger is happening to me, and what can I do better the next time so that it doesn't happen? So we need to be aware of these two types of self-awareness and decide where we fit in the most. It's not that people can be overall self-aware, but what type am I, and what can I do in order to work it out in a better way? And something that happens, Elena, very often is that creating a moment, booking a time for ourselves in order to live a moment of mindfulness. Mindfulness is simply the ability to be fully at the present. So instead of judging the past or having expectations about the future, which are going to be affecting us emotionally, is to live the present, to have a moment where we are describing facts, that we can remove the this cover of emotions, of judgment, judging ourselves, and just being factual about what we live in the current moment and how are we experiencing emotions. This is super important, and the best way to start is to book a time during the day where for 2 minutes we are capable of in an objective manner summarizing what has happened to us, what has produced this type of emotions, if we're talking about emotions. Culturally, and this is a topic that always we associate that certain cultures are a little bit more self-aware of than others, we need to consider that as there is two types of self-awareness, where is the strength of each culture? Is it that, for instance, Germans can be a little bit more introspect? Is it that Latinos can be a little bit more in the self-awareness that is external? That's why they are a little bit more empathic. And build up a plan where we are building actions that can drive us to be a little bit more complete. When we are in the area of leadership, we definitely need to have both areas that are covered in order to be more productive, more creative, more efficient in the way we are dealing with the day-to-day, because we are trying to create a plan of knowing ourselves so much and knowing, in fact, the interactions that, understanding the interactions that we have with others in order to lead in a better way with teams. So that's the take for self-awareness, Elena.
Thank you. Now I feel like I have to go do some introspection.